They found her standing alone in the mud, head low, eyes empty, already gone. But what happened next? Well, hold your breath, because sometimes the quietest souls shout the loudest love. What happened next still ripples through the valley like wind through tall grass. Grace's name is now whispered like a prayer by every child who walks through the gates of Hope Hollow Sanctuary, where broken hearts find healing, not in speeches but in soft knickers and steady warmth. If this story cracked something open in your chest, please share it. Hit subscribe, drop a comment below. Tell us about your Grace, the one who showed up when the world went silent. And let us remind each other, no one is too broken to be loved. It was raining, not hard, just enough to turn the dirt into sludge, as Clara Bennett stepped into the kill pen near Cedar Ridge, boots sinking with every step. 24 horses circled like ghosts, restless ribs sharp beneath thin coats, eyes wide with the kind of fear that comes after hope has bled out. And then she saw her, back corner, near the rusted water barrel, a mare, dapple gray once maybe, now dull as ash, standing so still the rain pooled on her shoulders, without shaking off. Clara called out softly, "Hey there," and the mare turned, just turned, not toward the sound exactly, but searching for it, ears flicking like broken compass needles. And that's when Clara saw them. Both eyes, white as moonstone, thick with cataracts, clouded not just with disease, but with surrender. The auction man, Roy, spat into the mud and shrugged. Blind, 12 years old. Owner dumped her Tuesday, says she's no use anymore. No use. Clara's throat tightened. 12? A horse's prime. Just beginning. She reached out, fingers brushing the mare's neck. Muscle flinched, skin twitching like it remembered hands that struck, not soothed. This horse had loved, had trusted, had given everything, and when darkness came, they threw her away. Clara didn't hesitate. "I'll take her." 150, Roy muttered, already scribbling on his clipboard. Clara paid, every penny in her wallet, her heart pounding, not because she had a plan, but because some rescues aren't choices. They're commands from the soul. She named her Serena, not for beauty, but for the quiet strength in how she held herself, even in ruin. Loading Serena into the trailer took nearly an hour. No sight, no trust, just Clara's voice, soft, steady, endless. "You're safe, girl. I'm right here. 1 foot. Good. 1 more." Hoof by trembling hoof, up the ramp, into the unknown. Serena didn't believe. She just chose, for the first time in forever, to try. Back at Hope Hollow, Clara's husband, Daniel, met them in the driveway. No lecture, just a nod, a kiss on her temple, and, "We'll build her a safe world, brick by brick." 3 houses down, behind a white picket fence heavy with ivy, lived 10-year-old Ellie Moore, 8 months in foster care, 8 months of silence. The car crash that took her mother left her body whole, her voice buried. Doctors called it selective mutism. She could speak, they said. She just wouldn't. Ellie moved like a shadow through the Moore household, Mr. and Mrs. Moore kind, patient, hearts breaking daily as they watched her stare out her window, toward the horses. Always the horses. She never asked to go closer, never waved, just stood, small, pale, fingers gripping the fence slats, watching, waiting, as if memorizing how freedom looked on 4 legs. The day Serena arrived, Ellie was there before the school bus even stopped. She saw the gray mare step backward down the ramp, cautious, uncertain, head swinging gently, listening to the wind, the birds, Clara's murmurs, and something inside Ellie, something frozen since that rainy night on Highway 19, thawed. Not all at once, but a crack, thin and bright. She can't see, Ellie thought, breath-catching, but she's still walking. A week later, Mrs. Moore mentioned Ellie's quiet obsession to Clara at the post office. "She watches that gray mare like she's reading a secret book." Clara's eyes softened. "Bring her by tomorrow. Tell her Serena needs a friend who understands quiet." The next afternoon, Ellie stood trembling at the paddock gate, heart hammering against her ribs. Clara opened it, whispering, Serena hears with her whole body. Speak or don't. She'll know you anyway. Ellie stepped in, barely a foot, and made the tiniest sound. A breath, really, like wind through reeds. Serena's head lifted instantly, ears locking forward, nostrils flaring, and slowly, so slowly, she walked toward the sound. Clara guided Ellie's hand out, palm up, and then, velvet warmth brushed her skin. Serena's muzzle, soft as worn silk, pressed into Ellie's palm, and Ellie gasped, sharp, sudden, the first audible breath she'd taken in 8 months. Tears spilled hot and fast. She didn't wipe them. Instead, her other hand rose, trembling, and touched Serena's face, tracing the curve of that blind, milky eye. You're in the dark too, Ellie thought. But you're still here. They stood like that, girl and mare, for 10 minutes, maybe 20, world shrinking to that point of contact. Two souls speaking in a language older than words. Day after day Ellie returned, after school, before dinner, sometimes before dawn, learning Serena's world. How she turned left at the bent fence post to find water. How she paused at the smooth stone Clara placed by the hay bin. How she leaned into Ellie's shoulder when thunder rolled. Ellie brushed her coat until silver dapples gleamed through the grime. She braided ribbons into her mane on Sundays. She sat cross-legged in the grass reading aloud from picture books. Voice still silent, but her lips moved, forming words only Serena could feel in the air. And Serena. She lit up when Ellie's footsteps crunched on the gravel path, nicking softly, weaving around her like a giant gentle shadow, trusting this small human to be her eyes. Ellie began to smile. Real smiles, quiet but fierce. And though she didn't speak, her silence changed. It wasn't a cage anymore. It was a bridge. Then came the stormy Tuesday in late October. Cold wind, sky bruised purple. Ellie raced to the sanctuary, backpack bouncing, and found Clara kneeling beside Serena, face tight with fear. She collapsed an hour ago, Ellie. Won't get up? Serena lay on her side, breathing shallow, rapid. Each inhale a thin whistle, each exhale weaker than the last. Ellie dropped to her knees, hands flying over Serena's neck, her flank, too hot, too still. And then, Serena's leg jerked. A low, guttural groan tore from her throat, human in its pain. Clara was on the phone, voice cracking. Doctor. Evans now, please. Ellie pressed her forehead to Serena's cheek, tears soaking the gray coat, and whispered, no, begged, the first word she'd spoken since the crash. Don't leave me, please. I just found you. Please stay. I love you. Her voice, small, rough, shattered, poured out like a dam breaking. 8 months of grief, guilt, loneliness, rushing into that one plea. Clara froze, phone against her ear, watching as Ellie wrapped her arms around Serena's head, whispering over and over, stay, 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 until the vet's truck skidded to a stop. Colic. Severe. Dr. Evans worked fast, tubes, fluids, pain meds, while Ellie held Serena's head, voice never stopping, telling her about her mom's laugh, about the guilt of waking up alone in the hospital, about how Serena's quiet strength taught her that darkness isn't the end, just the place where trust begins. Hours later, dawn painting the sky pink. Serena rose, wobbly, weak, alive. Dr. Evans called it a miracle, but Ellie and Clara knew Serena hadn't fought for life. She'd fought for Ellie, because in that paddock, a silent girl had finally spoken, and Serena couldn't bear to miss a single word. Ellie's voice returned, not all at once, but like spring thaw, first to Serena, then to Clara, then to the Moores. She laughed, she argued, she read aloud in class. 6 months later, the Moores adopted her. Ellie Moore became Ellie Moore Clark, and on adoption day, she sat in Serena's paddock, forehead pressed to her friend's neck, whispering, we're home. Both of us. 3 golden years followed. Ellie growing tall and sure, leading tours at Hope Hollow, writing award-winning essays, How a Blind Horse Taught Me to See Myself. Serena, now 15, slowed. Stiff mornings, weight slipping away. Then came the diagnosis. Cancer. Widespread. We could treat, Dr. Evans said gently, but at her age, it would be suffering, not saving. 14-year-old Ellie didn't cry. Not then. She just nodded, eyes dry and fierce. Then we make every day beautiful. She slept in the stall on straw pallets. She read poetry aloud as Serena dozed. She brushed her coat until it shimmered like starlight. She whispered thanks for the patience, the trust, the way Serena stood still in the dark until Ellie found the courage to step forward. The morning frost glittered like diamonds when Serena lay down and couldn't rise. The sanctuary family gathered. Clara, Daniel, the Moores Clark, Dr. Evans, standing back, giving space. Ellie sat in the crisp grass, Serena's head cradled in her lap, fingers tracing the familiar beloved contours of her face. Thank you for teaching me. Bravery isn't loud. Thank you for showing me broken things can hold the most light. Thank you for waiting. For me. Serena's breaths grew slower, shallower. Ellie leaned close, lips brushing her ear. I love you. Forever. I'll be okay, because you showed me how. The injection was swift, gentle. 3 breaths. 2. 1. And then, stillness. Not empty. Complete. Grief came in waves, sudden, crushing. But Ellie rode them, just as Serena taught her. She spoke her pain aloud. She wrote letters to Serena under the oak tree. She kept grooming the new rescues, her hands remembering Serena's rhythm. A month later, at Hope Hollow's open house, Ellie stood before 50 strangers, voice clear and strong. Serena couldn't see the world, but she saw me, when I was invisible, even to myself. She knew love doesn't need eyes, only presence, only patience. She gave me 3 years, but she gave me a lifetime of courage. Silence fell, then tears, then applause. Clara hugged her tight, whispering, "She hears you, Ellie, always." They buried Serena beneath the hill where Ellie's window looked out, simple stone, wildflowers planted by trembling hands. Serena, she taught us to see in the dark. Years later, accepted into vet school, Ellie sat by the grave, sunlight warm on her shoulders. I'm going to save horses like you, horses the world calls no use, because you showed me. The deepest healing begins when someone refuses to look away. A breeze stirred the blossoms, a soft nicker on the wind, or maybe just love, echoing. Sometimes the most broken souls hold the clearest light because they've learned to find it in the smallest things. A voice returning, a hoof trusting a hand, a heart choosing love, even in the dark.